Good morning, students. Hope you have been enjoying all my sessions, that is, previous sessions. In the previous sessions, we have been discussing the importance of English language and the importance of being an extrovert and the effective communication. All those things we discussed elaborately, and in this session we discuss on two things. One is technique techniques of learning, and the second thing is difference between spoken English and written English. Okay. See, actually, some of you may ask, sir, when we are going to when we are going to discuss the syllabus. Definitely we do it. But I want you to fix an objective. See, always, you need an objective. See, when you learn something, when you study something, you must know the purpose of the study. So, if you study English language means you must know what is an objective of English language. See, suppose if you go to some place, beforehand what you do, you collect all the information about that place so that you can explore there. So without knowing, if you go there, what will happen? Sometimes it may lead to confusion. So likewise, the very purpose of discussing all those things, all those ideas in our previous sessions is to fix an objective. What is an objective of learning English language? See, generally what happens, sometimes, unfortunately, some boys, that is after completing their graduation or post-graduation, they come to the department and they simply, they stand by a corner. So when I ask the boys to come in, then I ask, what do you want? Then the boys said, sir, I have been attending interview for the past 1 year, but I am not able to get a job. Then I asked them, what's the problem? So the boys said, sir, I am attending an interview, they are asking me questions, but I am not in a position to give answers to them. I am not able to reply. This is my problem. This is one thing. It is a common problem nowadays. And another one thing is that, see, it will happen to you too. Sometimes your neighbor or your relative will ask you to draft a letter. So he may tell you that, okay, my child is studying in that school, I want to that is change the school, so I have to get a TC from that school, and they are asking letter, so you please, can you draft me a letter? And at the time, sometimes that is what happens, what our boys do, they would tell that, sir, I have some urgent work, I have to go there, just they want to escape from the spot. It is a very, very saddening state. You must not be like that. You must face the challenges of life. Okay, so it is really challenging. And after completing graduation, sometimes what happens, after seeing an advertisement in a newspaper, they bring a white paper, and they seek some others help to draft a letter. They even do not know how to write a letter, and they do not know how to write their resume. And sometimes what boys do, they bring a white paper and they are requesting the teachers or someone to draft a letter to get bona fide certificate. See what I am telling you, if you study English either 2 semesters or 4 semesters, what is the very purpose? That the English language, after studying English language, that you must be an employable. You must be in a position to face an interview confidently and boldly. You have to win an interview. Unless otherwise, what is the purpose of studying English? See, generally what our boys do, they just want to get through the paper. They want to get pass marks. Just want to clear the English paper. You must not be like this. You have to learn it. You must know to speak English fluently, flawlessly. You must know at least to draft a simple letter. If you don't do this, then there is no meaning in studying English for 2 semesters or 4 semesters. See, remember one thing, as far as learning is concerned, I would like to tell you one thing. College is a place for learning. See, you have been studying for the past 12 years. You have been studying. But what I would like to tell you, college is a place for learning. What does it mean? See, 2 types of learning are there. One is right learning. Another one is rote learning. Right learning, rote learning. What is the meaning of right learning? Right learning means learning with understanding. Learning with understanding. Rote learning means generally learning without understanding. Usually, this is what takes place in schools. Rote learning, what they do, they simply memorize it, they mug it up without knowing the meaning, without knowing the content, without understanding the concept. What they do, they simply memorize it. They simply memorize the entire textbook, simply they upload it. On the day of examination, they simply download it. If you ask them what's the meaning, they would say, see, this is the answer. If you ask them explanation, they never give an explanation because they are like pen drives. What the pen drive does? When you upload it, all the data it gets uploaded. Right? When you fix somewhere, you can download it. So, if you memorize things, you are not at all better than a pen drive. Rote learning. And you remember one thing, when your learning is rote learning, what does it mean? It never, that is your brain never keeps for a long time. The data never be stored for a long time because all the data in your brain are stored in STM. STM means short term memory. So rote memory helps you only on the day of examination. After 2 or 3 days, you forget everything. Because your brain stores in STM. It will not remain in your memory power for a long time. Whereas in that is right learning, the data will be stored in LTM. It is long term memory. And the benefit of right learning is that you never forget. But here you never remember. And generally what is happening is, why student memorized? Why they do like this? Because they want to score higher marks. They want to score high marks. Whatever available in a textbook, they simply reproduced. And of course, rote learning may gives you marks. But remember one thing, right learning will give you job. Which one is important? Both are important. No doubt in it. Both are important. But what we have to do is, you have to develop the habit of right learning. Whatever the subject you study, when you study, try to understand things. Try to understand things. When you understand things, you can remember forever. In rote learning, what is happening? That is, you are simply memorizing. So your memory will not support you. Actually, what is happening, as you grow older and older, your memory power will gradually be reduced. And your knowledge will increase. Your reasoning power will increase. So after a particular age, you cannot memorize things, because your brain will ask you what it is. If you understand the concept, your brain immediately accepts. Otherwise, what it will do? It will store in STM. It is a temporary memory storage. You may forget very soon. But right learning is a learning with understanding that will support you forever. And right learning will judge your career, not rote learning. So whatever the subject you study, you try to understand things. That should be your objective. See, when you study English language, you must know the objective of English language. For what you are studying right learning. So don't worry, that is you have 3 years with you, right? So you have a very wonderful opportunity to learn in a right way, that is right learning. Okay, so it's you don't need not to worry about it. Our college gives you a wonderful opportunity to learn things in a very practical way. See, for example, yesterday, today, tomorrow. You may wonder what it is. Okay, I tell you. If a letter O stands for opportunity, if a letter O stands for opportunity, is there any O here? In yesterday, it is gone. It is gone. No opportunity. Because it is yesterday. Today, you have one chance. You have one opportunity. Don't miss it. Utilize it. Suppose if you miss it, you need not worry about it. You have 3 opportunities tomorrow. 3 O's. Three opportunities. Today you have only one opportunity. There is no O in yesterday. That is, yesterday is gone. So you need not to worry about it. You will have a great opportunity to learn your subject in a very practical way, right? You try to understand things. Got it? Okay. Now, let us discuss the difference between spoken English and written English. As I already told you that is the end of the previous session, when you speak English, a listener is very much particular about what you are telling. He never, try to find a fault with your, grammar, whether you are using correct preposition, article or not. No, it means that your, errors may go unnoticed. Whereas, as far that in a written language, you must be very, very careful. Because when you speak, when words come out of your mouth, it will vanish. When you write something, it is on a paper. It becomes a document. So you must be very careful. But both spoken English, written English, both are necessary in a workplace. See, by using your effective communication skill, you may get a job. But after joining a job, you have to prepare your reports, you have to compose emails. There is no other goal. So you have to have mastery over both spoken English as well as written English. But written English is very sensitive. I may call that it is very interesting. It is very interesting. You need not to worry about it. See, for example, I would like to give you some examples. See the sentence A. I am studying English. And sentence B, I am studying the English. Can you see any difference? Can you see any difference? I am studying English, sentence A, I am studying the English. What is the difference? The difference is THE, the or the. What it is called in grammar? Article, that is definite article. Here English without article, here English with definite article. A simple word, can you guess the meaning of this sentence? See, I am studying English, I am studying the English. What's the difference? The difference is very big. See, when you say I am studying English, it means that you are studying something related to English language. You are studying a short story. You are studying a novel. You are studying a grammar. That is something related to English language. Something related to English language. Here, the English means is equal to English people. English people. It means you are studying about the culture of English people. You are studying about the lifestyle of English people. See, the presence of article and the absence of articles can bring a great difference in the meaning of a sentence. This is the beauty of written English. So you must be extra careful while you write. See, I would like to tell you one thing. One sentence can tell about your personality. One sentence can tell you that how good you are in English or how bad you are in English. You must be very, very careful. And likewise, and usually, remember one thing, these type of questions are asked in the final round of an interview. Don't think that these are the very simple things. Do not skip it. In a HR round, when they are about to select you, they may ask these type of questions. If you answer them confidently, properly, your job is guaranteed. Otherwise, you may lose your job. Okay? See another one example. He is going to college every day, and the sentence B is he is going to college every day. He is going to college every day and he is going to college every day. Can you see any difference between these two sentences? What's the difference? Just look at every day. What is the difference? Here every day, two words. Here every day is a single word. What's the difference? This is space. So if you split out a word every day into two, it means daily. It means daily. If you write it out a word every day as a single word, it doesn't give a meaning daily, it gives meaning common. Now can you understand how interesting the written language is? If you want to say that he is going to college every day, you have to write every day as a two words. If you write it as a single word, then it is wrong. Okay, how can you use every day common in the usage? Nowadays, power shutdown is an everyday problem. Nowadays, power shutdown is an everyday problem, and it is a common problem. It is a common problem. In a sense, if you want to write it in a sense of common, you have to write it out every day as a single word. If you split that word into two, if you leave space between every and day, it means daily. So this is the beauty of written language. You must be very, very careful. Not only like that, thousands of sentences you can write like this. See another one example I would like to give you. He is in prison. And another one sentence is he is in the prison. Here also definite article. He is in prison. He is in the prison. Prison without article and prison with article. What does it mean? If you say he is in prison means he has committed some crime, now he is in jail. Now he is in jail. He is in the prison means he need not to be a prisoner, but he visits the spot. He visits the spot to meet someone, to meet a jail warden, that is a warden, or to meet a prisoner. See, the presence of article and the absence of article makes a vast difference in the meaning of a sentence. You must be very, very careful. See, for example, if you say on the Independence Day, the collector was in the prison or in prison. See, usually, that is on Independence Day, that is a Republic Day, that is politicians and these, that is officials, they visit the jail just to give sweets or to distribute clothes. See, if you remove that is, if you write out a sentence without article, it means that he is a criminal. You must be very careful. An innocent man may become criminal, or a criminal become an innocent man, merely the presence of the article. So likewise, thousands of sentences are there. It is very, very interesting. So spoken in while you speak, your mistakes are unnoticed. But while you write, you must be very, very careful. You must give extra importance to written language. Okay. So from next class onwards, we will start our syllabus. And before that, sometimes what happens, we skip a very basic preliminary things. That is sometimes that is our boys think that what it is simple, why should I learn all those things? But remember, you must know the primary things. Sometimes singular plural, you must be very, very careful. Even in singular plural also, there are so many techniques out there. See, you must be very, very careful. You must learn beforehand, so that when we begin our syllabus, right, so we will discuss lot of things. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask, you can clarify it. Okay, yeah, we shall meet next class. Thank you so much.